Ladies and gentlemen, we are on our way. This is round 9 at Watkins Glen, our makeup race from the time that we had a little bit of an issue. Ladies and gentlemen, we are rolling out. You can see all the drivers rolling out. We've got Carter Bennett here trying to use up all the track that he possibly can, working his way through the corner here. We have 25 minutes of qualifying. Everybody is flying here. Let's take a look who is out first. Looks like we have number 720. That's going to be Carter Bennett, followed by what looks to be. Let's take a look. I believe it's Mr. Farmer here. It is right in front of Carter as they are coming through past the beautiful bus stop. Farmer running it super wide right there out of that right-hander turn as he's in that all black and NSX trying to see what he can do here. This is definitely going to be an interesting one as the drivers are working their way through. Now you can see a lot more of the other drivers coming through here. We're going to give a huge shout out to Mr. Shuffler. He is back. We're happy to see him back and hope everything is well at home for him and his family, because at GT3 we try to keep it very much like a community. We love everybody and want to make sure everybody is taken care of as we go through here. We see him bumping and grinding through that bus stop chicane. Also, we have Casey Bennett right behind, looks like Aiden Hasselbrock and Mr. Farmer, as well as Carter. They're going to be slowing it up here, trying to line up everybody as they get going here. Carter is on the provisional fast lap, so we will follow the Aston Martin driver, the 720, working his way down with the Red Bull, the Aston Martin Red Bull, the Max Verstappen fade. He goes super wide, catches the dirt. He's going to invalidate that lap, so he's going to lose out on that lap as they work their way through. Farmer right behind him, working his way up the hill through the chicane. Super fast up the hill as he goes. He's going to try to get his Honda to hit P1 here in this qualifying round with everybody right behind him. Looks like he's separated himself pretty good from that Aston, from the McLaren right behind him. Ooh, running a lot of that curves there in the NSX. A little dip, dive, and dodge there as he comes around the fast right-hander on the downhill section here. We have 21 drivers so far in the sign-up here for this race, as we see Farmer working his way down the hill on the left-hander, going super wide as well. Let's see what he can do as he catches up to the hairpin. Will he catch Carter? Looks like he possibly will catch Carter by the end of this qualifying lap, his provisional pole time. So we see Aiden and Casey Bennett in the background battling it out. This is our final race. For those that do not know, if you join us in our Discord, we have just dropped Season 7 GT3, followed by the Cup and GT4. So, ooh, Carter moving it out of the way. Just close to the end. Deleted Fox in the chat. Welcome, Deleted Fox. Well, hope all is well with your weekend. As we see Farmer coming down and crosses the line to a 1:44.8. Aiden Hasselbrock 8/10 off. Casey Bennett 8/10 off. Let's take a look. We have Alex Ardoin in the V12 Aston. He jumps up 1.5 seconds off. He is rocking the old school V12. We're going to ride along inside with him and see what is that beautiful car sounds like. Watch his car come around to the hairpin. He is flying in that V12 Aston. a look. Here he comes. He's going to have Hendricks right in front of him. He's going to have to work his way through there as well. Ooh, a little squirrely out of the Aston. Hendricks moves out of the way for the V12. He is up 3/10 on his time. Can he improve? Munoz up to P1 with a 44.3. Casey Bennett 2/10 off Farmer, 2/10. Hasselbrock 1.3. Fernandez now less than 8/10 off the pace. Shuffler 5/10 coming into the third to last corner. Deleted Fox, that's the same. I hope you're doing great as well. I am doing wonderful, putting a little OT tomorrow at work, so I'll be definitely having fun with that, as well as we have yellow in the bus stop. That's going to be Farmer off in the bus stop there, having fun, checking out the scenic view there as we see Shuffler go super wide. Tapped the wall a little bit, but he's still up 6/10 on his time. Does he jump? He jumps to P5, 1.3 off the pace. So right now, the big chase is, where is Munoz? Aiden Hasselbrock 6/10 off on his time as well. So this 6/10 will put him up there by Wilson Fernandez. So the McLaren driver trying to find all the pace he can here in this race. Hooks and dodges through the corners. Looking super nice as he comes up this hill. It is super sunny here today. It is also a warm day here in the ACC server. It is 35 degrees Celsius. So that's definitely going to be a blast. Comes still looking good. 7/10 on his time. The only other faster driver is Zach Hendricks, the America's Racing League driver. He will be the next person we're going to jump over to. And Aiden Hasselbrock, 6/10 back, jumps to P4. Here comes Hendricks. Hendricks 4/10 on his time. Kevin Yu 4/10 up on his time. Tim Wilkins 4/10 up on his time. Hendricks 2.6. Kevin Yu, he's on the back half. Let's take a look. Where's Tim Wilkins? Wilkins coming up. Wilkins is going to be ahead of Kevin Yu. And there you see, it looks like Andre Lloyd right behind them. Here goes Tim Wilkins. He is out of the final corner, working his way onto the main straight. Let's see where he jumps. Ooh, jumps a little bit closer here. Kevin Yu, 5/10 up. Can that bring him closer to LaRock in that P10? And he does. 3/10 off the pace of the P10 driver. Let's take a look. Who else is a big mover around here? Louis Bernard sitting in the pits. Joshua Piask in the pits. Liam McNeil, the other Honda NSX owner, still trying to set something up to make it work here. He did a 148.8 in the last lap. It wasn't valid. So let's see if he can pull something out here out of the final corner in the purple and white NSX as he gets onto the back straight. Shuffler still sitting there P6. Alex are doing P7. Liam McNeil 5.4 off the pace, so he's still finding time. Ricky Scott slots himself up to P14, bringing him up there. Matt Artin P9, 1.6 off the pace, 4/10 faster. Ricky Scott still picking up time. He's a 10th faster. See how he handles this bus stop chicane. Looks like there was a car in front of him that was a little bit off. That was Wilson Fernandez. Can they dodge him? They did dodge him to get out. But Ricky Scott, 3/10 up, did not slow him down as he's moving along. Our provisional pole setter, Jaden Munoz, bouncing between a 10th on his lap time. Tweeb says, let's go ARL boys. That is right, your ARL boys. Mr. Shuffler, P6. Mr. Hendricks, P13. And Joshua Piask, P20. Still gets us at a time here at Watkins Glen. Look, let's see where Ricky Scott, he is up 6/10. This 6/10 will leapfrog him, put him up by Shaw New. Shaw New also an ARL driver as well. As we see Ricky Scott coming out of that third to last corner there. A little bit of oddball chicane. Here he comes through. Nice bend, nice curve. He's going to have Farmer right in front of him. 7/10 now. Let's see, can he keep it up? He's picking up time. He's getting the big toe from Farmer. And it's going to slot him P12. About 3/10 back from Kevin Yu. Beautiful job there. Beautiful, beautiful job there. Let's take a look at driver we still have yet to see a time being put in, and that is Carter Bennett in that Aston Martin. He is 7/10 on his time. Hopefully he's able to find something there. Nice and plated with the Aston Martin. Question is it too plated here in this race at Watkins Glen as he works his way down the hill? We have a yellow in the bus stop chicane. That is Farmer right there, so the curbing is not going to help him out. Carter Bennett not being able to set in a lap. LaRock, the NSX driver, sitting there, P9. He's going to have Alex Ardoin in front of him in that V12 Aston. You just hear that thing just scream in the background. We do have a surprise for Alex Ardoin at the start of the race. We're going to hit him with a restrictor and a ballast for the V12 Aston because we love him that much, guys. As we see, Alex pulls off out. The other Alex is on the back straight, 3/10 up on his time. Leapfrogs going to P6, jumping Ardoin. And that's going to leapfrog Shuffler as well as we see LaRock pull off to the side. And now we got Liam McNeil, 1.4 up on his time. The man's taking fuel out of his car. He's looking super racy here in the NSX. A little squirrely out of the back end, but 1.3 seconds will draw him closer to Tim Wilkins and Alan Zhu. So let's see what he can do. Down into the final corner. Onto the front straight. Oh, he invalidated. Oh, his last lap was a 48.5, and that 48.5 would have put him right behind Alan Zhu, just ahead of James Park. So hopefully he's able to figure something out there with his qualifying thing. We're going to jump up aboard. Here's Tim Wilkins as he's working his way down up to the final couple corners here in this lap here in that GTMR McLaren here as he's working his way around the bend. Can someone chase Munoz down? Farmer needs it. He needs those 13 points to beat out Munoz here in this championship battle. As we see Tim Wilkins coming out of the final corner, up 4/10. Hendricks is also up 4/10. Crosses the line. It looks like he invalidated. No, actually, that was his new fast lap. He just did not. He leapfrogged Alan Zhu. I apologize. As we see Zach Hendricks 2/10 up, coming up to the final corner and around the bend. Matt Artem up a 10th. Ooh, Hendricks catches Sean New. 0.040 off the pace of Ricky Scott. Matt Artem coming out, going super wide. Liam McNeil pulling off to the side of the road, trying not to get into the way. Here goes Matt Artem. We have 10 minutes left in qualifying. Can someone catch Munoz? 2/10 separation between Bennett, Farmer, and Hasselbrock. Artem in P9, Andre Lloyd P10. It is getting to be a very spicy meatball as we see Louis Benara out here in his BMW. I know Louis really wants to jump to that Lambo next season, so he is going to have to work for it a little bit here to get to it, but he's coming up to the final corner. What can he set? Ooh, catches the wall, the 12 car. Now we are to see what he can do. He did not set a time in there. He may have a little bit of damage on the side of that BMW as we watch him come through here. Up the hill. Let's take a look on the inside, ladies and gentlemen. tight right there. 2/10 off his time. A little bit of a bend. You can see that rear view camera there. We're going to jump him on board. Hey, look, there's Louis. Busy checking out the cameras as we watch Louis Bernard in the Skechers. Number 12 car. 46 in the game, 12 in your hearts. As we watch him come through the final couple corners. He's going to have Alan Zhu in the Porsche right in front of him. Alan Zhu trying to set something up in his time. Ooh, Louis Bernard is up a 10th. The question is, what is that 10th? His lap was 20 minutes and 16 seconds. How much further is Louis going to push it? Doesn't push it that much. Crosses the line to P11. Just 3/10 back from Andre Lloyd to almost a 10. Oh, a little bit of a step out of Louis Bernard coming out of that corner. Sean New in the all blue GTMR Aston Martin on the downhill turn here. He is utilizing a lot of that scrub speed to work his way through. Munoz still up in that P1 spot. Farmer and Hasselbrock still trying to set the time to catch up to him. Ooh, Andre Lloyd leapfrogging Alex Ardoin as Alex Ardoin is starting to feel the pace of all the rest of the drivers. Here comes Sean New. He's coming around the bend. 4/10 on the back half of this track. He's got 2 more corners to go after this one to put in that time. That 5/10 now coming out of there. Can he hold it through? If he can keep it going, 5/10 would leapfrog him, put him into that top 13 or even top 12. See what he can do. 5/10, how much more can he get out of it? He does leapfrog Hendricks, so the 2 ARL guys battling it side by side. Carter Bennett still has yet to set a time here in this qualifying session. He is working his best in that Red Bull. Aston Martin, you can see he's having a lot of rotational issues. You see where he starts to rotate and kind of understeers a little bit, and then he has to catch right on a lot of the dirt on the curbing there. A little squirrely there, I'd have to say. All right, so let's ride along board with the gentleman that has yet to set a lap. Down into turn 1, catching a lot of that curbing, going super wide. The issue is when he hits that inner curb, it slingshots him out, and that throws him off a little bit there in the qualifying session. So we got a yellow. It is clear. He's got Alan Zhu right behind him. Alan Zhu not on a flyer. Looks like Carter's going to pull off and allow Alan Zhu by. He knows he probably messed up that lap. He's not going to try to continue and push it. Ooh, he is getting slidey. You can see that out of that Aston Martin. He was coming through that bus stop chicane. The car was definitely wanting to slide. Go through. Let's take a look. Anybody up on their times? Andre Lloyd in the Marvel Porsche here through the first chicane. Looking very nice and sweet there. Catching the curbs. Allowing the side of that car to get planted as he works his way down the bend. It is, you can definitely tell it looks loose, but it also looks like it's almost, but from my point of view, I think, Dweebs, it's almost too planted. Like, it almost is like it's digging, you know what I mean? But like it's almost loose when you get on the throttle. I'm thinking that he possibly maybe running a little bit more rake, a little too much rake, to where when he gets on throttle in certain spots, it's almost too aggressive and the back end is breaking out. See Andre Lloyd still, he lost a little bit of time. Jaden Munoz up 2/10 now. He's sitting pole P1 with a 44.1. Now resets provisional pole. 3/10 ahead of 2 through 4. 2 through 4 is going to be looking like a spicy race right now, especially with them being 3/10 separation of each other here. as we see Andre Lloyd dip into the pits. Liam McNeil 1.6 up on his time. He is finding the pace. He's been, every time he's came out, he's been able to chip and chip and chip away a lot of time here. It looks like Carter Bennett's last lap was a 150.855, which would have put him right at the tail end of Liam McNeil here. But you can see that Honda just start to step there right out of the final corner as Jay DeBudos resets provisional pole with a 43.9. Liam McNeil seems like he's invalidated, like he finds the pace and finds the time because he's able to do a 48.5. But he's just not able to just string it together towards the end, which is just a shame there. As we see Shuffler right behind him working that 488 Ferrari. Wilson Fernandez in the purple Brazilian beautiful BMW. He is P5, 1.2 off the pace as he's working his way through here in the final sector of this qualifying session with 3 minutes left to play. Liam McNeil still up 1 whole second on his time. He knows he can do a 48.5. The question is, will the game allow him to have the 48.5? As the number 84 car looks like they came back. Liam McNeil, he had to leapfrog back into the pits. So we may be seeing a huge rush, influx of drivers diving back in. Aiden Hasselbrock up a 10th as he's coming down the hill. Oh, he goes super wide. Oh, you can see him just pushing it to the limit there in that McLaren as he comes down the hill here, just utilizing all of the track there. See as we go through, let's take a look if there's any other driver. Alan Zhu up 7/10 in the GTMR Porsche. He is the livery god, as we like to call him in the Discord. He is the gentleman that has designed all these GTMR liveries for everybody in the Discord to use for free. We want to make sure that, you know, the community is taken care of and people feel love, so everybody's allowed to run these liveries. We also have the new cars, the 992, the 296, as well as the new Lambo Evo 2. Those liveries have dropped as well. Take a look. 8/10 now on his time. 8/10 will bring him closer to Tim Wilkins in that McLaren. As we see Alan Zhu looking super nice and tight as he works his way down through that bend here. Here he goes through. Final corner. Onto the back straight. Let's see what he does when he crosses the line. Does bring him closer, 3/10 closer to Tim Wilkins. Another driver that we have yet to see, Joshua Piast, the Wonderbred Lexus here. Let's see what the Wonderbred Lexus can do here. He will be starting his final lap after this lap here when he crosses the line. So let's see what he can do. He's going to have Liam McNeil in front of him. And it is game on. Here he goes down into turn 1. Qualifying is over. Anybody on a flyer will be allowed to finish their lap. We are riding along board Joshua Piast. He has yet to set a time. He has Liam McNeil 1.2 seconds up on his time in front of him as they go around the bend. We're going to follow along with Liam McNeil. As you can see him power sliding that NSX a little bit. As Rowdy Bird says, good luck tonight, everyone. Thank you, Rowdy. By the way, Rowdy, if you haven't seen, the sign-ups are up for next season. You will be able to run your beautiful new Porsche every race. Rowdy has always asked me, oh man, can I run the new Porsche? Can I run the new Porsche? And now he can officially run the new Porsche for the next season. Definitely be awesome to see him out on the track. Liam still up 2 seconds on his time as he comes out of the second to last corner. Oh, look at this. Joshua Piask is running him down here. If Liam is looking for a flyer, Joshua's going to have a flyer as well. Boom, P19 for Liam. P18 for Josh. Splits Tim Wilkins and Alan Zhu. Beautiful run. But right now we have Jaden Munoz here out on the track. He's doing a little bit of a parade lap in his Audi. Question is he going to set a faster time, or is he not, or is he going to dive into the pits? Here comes Jaden Munoz up to the second to last corner. Now the final one. Catches the brakes. He is going to dive into the pits. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of your qualifying session. Jaden Munoz dropping it into P1 with a 143.9, followed by Casey Bennett, Mr. Farmer, Hasbrock, Fernandez, Shuffler, Louis Benara, Alex Arduin, LaRock, and Andre Lloyd. So there we have it, everybody. Let us know who your thoughts are, who your big victor is coming up for this race. We're going to quickly jump out of the Humdrum Racing Team Audi of Jaden Munoz here in a second. Back it up a little bit and just take a look at our grid. Our 21 drivers for the end of the season of Season 6 at Watkins Glen. It is truly an honor to have all these drivers here participating and racing with us. So let's roll down and take a look at Mr. Munoz in that Audi, Casey Bennett in the Ferrari, Mr. Farmer in the Honda NSX, and then we have Aiden Hasselbrock. Question is, can Farmer keep that Honda locked in through this whole entire race? Because through the bus stop, we saw a lot of yellow flags with his number. The question is, can he hold and lock that in? Wilson Fernandez in that beautiful 888 BMW, as well as Christopher Shuffler in the beautiful GTMR green Ferrari. And then we have Louis Benara in that 46, but 12 in your hearts, BMW with Aiden Hasselrock. Alex Arduin, I apologize, in the V12 Aston as a punishment. The punishment is, it sounds beautiful. As we see LaRock in the NSX, the 196 car, trying to bring it in and hold strong enough pace. He's a big mover. We possibly could see him even further up the grid, followed by the Marvel Studios, Andre Lloyd in the 937 Porsche. He's also looked super racy. The Porsche could be pretty stable here towards the end game of this race. Matt Artem, a driver that we usually see looking super strong. We could possibly see him even higher up in the grid as well. Watkins Glen is a hard track for qualifying, but it's possibly it could be easier out when it gets to the actual race. Then we have Ricky Scott coming in here in this beautiful McLaren. What's interesting with the Knox Racing system is, can they hold it in together? They've got a lot of fast drivers right in front and a lot of fast drivers right behind. So we'll definitely have to see how he does. Kevin Yu in that Ferrari, looking steady pace, that top 15. Interesting to see where he will finish out as well. Sean New, definitely having a little bit of an interesting race here, especially for the 43 GTMR Aston Martin. He's been looking super racy all season. His pace has picked up over time, and with the 1.9, we could see him a little bit further up here in the grid. Mr. Hendricks, he's going to have Sean Yu's number here in this race. The ARL boys are going to be trying to battle it out while trying to take it to the GTMR boys. Be interesting to see where Hendricks finishes in this overall race. Carter Bennett in the Red Bull Aston Martin. He is having a lot of issues during qualifying to set a lap, but the difference is in the race. You don't have to worry about trying to set a lap. You're just trying to have to put it on the track. We'll definitely have to see where Mr. Carter Bennett sets it on the race. Then moving over to Tim Wilkins. Wilkins running the GTMR McLaren. Super fast, super quick, very stable for the grid that he's in. Tim Wilkins can make a bunch of moves. He loves Watkins Glen, so maybe he'll be harnessing his inner Watkins at this race to set it up there and try to get into that top 15 for more points. And there we have Joshua Piasca, another ARL driver, running the Wonder Bread Lexus here. He didn't qualify except for the last uh, last couple of minutes. We got 20 seconds left before we start rolling off, so we'll definitely have to see what he does. The livery guy, the guy who created it, the GTMR Porsche, Alan Zhu, looking super racy. He could take the fight. He's very conservative, but maybe today at the end of the race he becomes really aggressive. Liam McNeil, the final NSX, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where he sets up. And then James Parks in the 513, the gentleman driver, as we roll along with everybody as we move our way down the grid and we start seeing the drivers roll out. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, your whole entire grid. So let's get back into the action with everybody rolling out. Tweebs saying, love Sean's livery. That livery is amazing, Tweebs. If you get pit sync with GTMR, you will be getting those liveries in there. There's 3 sets. There's an orange one, a kind of like a baby blue one, and then a neon green one. Pretty much what Shuffler has. As we see Louis Bernard going off the track, trying to pick up marbles. Interesting strategy there from Louis Bernard at the start of the rollout session here. Now, a few drivers we can take a look at to see where their pace is and if they make a big boost. Casey, Aiden Hasselbrock in that McLaren, the Silk Cut. He's a champion here at GTMR. He's a little bit more, he can make moves. We know he's fast. We know he's quick. And he's going to be putting the pressure on Farmer at the start of the race. So that's definitely going to be an interesting one. Casey Bennett, he's been up in the front of the grid. Now it's time for Casey Bennett, especially in that Red Bull Ferrari, to take the pressure back and push it against Munoz. Munoz may have the outright pace, but as long as Casey pushed the pressure and hopes for the best, he could make a big move here in this race as well. As we watch the other drivers work their way through the grid, let's take a look down the list here. As we see, it looks like Shuffler here working his way through here in the neon green Ferrari. He's going to have Louis Bernard right behind him, so that's going to definitely be an interesting one. And then Alex Arduin, he's fast in the Audi, he's fast in all the other cars. The question is will Alex be able to set something up here with that V12 Aston? He's going to have very fast straight line speed. Hopefully he can carry it through the corners. Now let's work our way back down. Jean New is big driver, big ARL guy, one of the front guys of the slower parts of the grid here. So Sean New's going to have Hendricks right behind him, the 2 ARL guys battling it out nose to tail. So that will be definitely an interesting one as we watch the drivers work their way back around here as well. So that's going to be your whole entire grid to see who is going to be the fast one, who's going to be the slow one, to see where they're at. I want to hear from the chat who you think is going to be your big movers and who you think is going to take the fight, the biggest fight to these drivers here in this race. Go through here. Let's take a look as we see Jaden Munoz, Casey Bennett. Now we're going to start to see everybody line up side by side here in the start. Looks like Jaden Munoz is going to have the inside, Casey's going to have the outside. So this is definitely going to be a fun one, ladies and gentlemen. Audi, Ferrari, Honda, McLaren, BMW, Ferrari, Aston, BMW, Honda, Audi. Jaden Munoz, the calm before the storm, especially with Casey and Farmer both trying to warm up their tires, getting everything all set up as we work our way through here. As we get close side by side, here we go. Let's see what happens. Down the line they go. Dweeb says in the chat, top 4 should be spicy. Spicy, yes. And we have green, and they're off. Munoz getting a beautiful run covering the inside. Aiden kind of moves a little bit. Farmer closes the door on the inside. Farmer going to try to leapfrog Casey. He knows it's a 13-point split here as the drivers work their way out of turn 1. Alex Arduin making moves here in the V12 Aston. Here they go. Farmer looking as they work their way up the hill. Casey Bennett being attacked by, he is attacking the Honda NSX of Farmer here as they work their way down the back straight. You can see the BOP hit on Farmer's NSX. Door to door, side by side they go. Aiden Hasselbrock trying to get a little bit of a squeeze as they go into the bus stop. Louis Bernard's car getting a little squirrely. Alex Ardoin in the V12 Aston trying to hold them off as well. Here they go through. Can Farmer keep up with Munoz as they work their way down the hill? The number 43 car looks like Sean knew a little bit of a, oh, what a horrible start for him in this race here through the bus stop as they go through down into the hairpin. Farmer now on the back end of Munoz. Farmer's going to have to, ooh, he gets a little squirrely. That's going to allow Casey Bennett to take the fight here. Ooh, oh, Wilson Fernandez gets a little squirrely coming out of the hairpin here. Oh, Casey's now trying to switch back on Farmer, but here comes Aiden Hasselbrock in the McLaren. As we see here, oh, looks like Farmer's trying to cover up as much as he possibly can, but that's just allowing Munoz to pull away. Farmer's Honda is not being able to hold off as much as he wants it to be. Here goes the Ferrari of Casey Bennett here as we go into the last corner here and onto the back straight. Munoz still 8/10 up on his pace here as Wilson Fernandez get a little squirrely with that BMW with Christopher Shuffler here. Casey Bennett's going to have to try to stick and make something work here as they come down with the signups. Everybody's going to get points. You can see Wilson Fernandez's car getting a little squirrely. That's going to allow LaRock on the back end of Wilson Fernandez to get a little bit of a tow on that BMW as they work their way up the hill. Wilson Fernandez's car is not having a happy moment here as well. Liam McNeil sits the fastest lap. Someone timestamp that. Tell him that he can go retire as they work their way through here. Oh, man, Liam McNeil's going to kill me. Oh, Casey Bennett loses the back end of it. Oh, he saves it. Oh, beautiful save by Casey Bennett. There goes Alex Ardoin. Louis Bernard goes wide. Shuffler's now in the mix on Casey Bennett here down on the inside. Wilson Fernandez has to check up. Side by side, the two Ferrari drivers go. Oh, Shuffler's going to have to make his move on Casey Bennett. Alex Ardoin's going to be able to leapfrog him. Oh, that is not what Casey Bennett went down into the hairpin here to lose that through the bus stop as these drivers are trying to work their way through here. Shuffler now up to P5 as we see Andre Lloyd taking a look on the inside, backs out, comes back in. Casey Bennett takes a look, tries to stick his nose, see if Shuffler makes a mistake. He doesn't. As we see Alex Ardoin in the V12 Aston there, still holding it together there. As we see Farmer still trying to hunt down Munoz, only a second off the pace. Farmer's still going to have to try to find something. Let's move down the grid here as we see Matt Artem looking with Andre Lloyd. Wilson Fernandez on the back end, BMW on BMW action here. Ooh, Wilson Fernandez taps the door a little bit. Oh, how much damage was that on Wilson Fernandez's car with Louis Bernard right in front of him. Down into the turn one, Wilson Fernandez takes a look, he backs out, LaRock sends it up on the inside. Here comes Andre Lloyd. They're both going to get a run on there. Wilson Fernandez, definitely the braking marks into turn one. Matt Artem now on the outside of Andre Lloyd. He's taking a look as he's working his way up the grid here onto the back straight. It is becoming very spicy, ladies and gentlemen. These drivers are trying to hold in as much as they can through here, the bus stop chicane. You can see Christopher Shuffler losing a little bit here. Oh, Louis Bernard hits the rear end of Christopher Shuffler, smacks the wall there. Oh, very interesting to say. Shuffler trying not to get into the way of everybody, trying to serve his pit rotation as he works his way through. What a shame there by Christopher Shuffler as we see the front part of the grid here. As we see Farmer, Munoz now separating themselves. Ardoin, see, take a look as we have Casey Bennett now trying to chase down Ardoin here. It's Ardoin in that V12 Aston trying to hold off as much as he possibly can. As we see Wilson Fernandez in that P6, Andre Lloyd a little bit further back, Louis Bernard and LaRock. Bernard is probably going to have a lot of damage on the front end of that BMW with what happened to Shuffler. LaRock trying to make it stick here. Andre Lloyd trying to work his way through with Matt Artem. Now that's going to bring in Ricky Scott, Carter Bennett, Kevin Hugh, Hendricks, Joshua Piast, Liam McNeil, Tim Wilkins, Allen, Zoo, all of them on the outside looking in, trying to make it stick here. as we come down through the final corner here, out onto the main straight. Andre Lloyd. Ooh, we saw a little bit of a tap in the back there from Carter Bennett on that Aston Martin. Andre Lloyd takes a look on the inside. Matt Artem having to cover a little bit of the brakes there on the downhill. Now that's going to allow Ricky Scott on the attack of the Audi, side by side. Tries to stick his nose up there, working his way up the hill. Does this give him the big toe? Here he comes through. Let's take a look. You can see where the McLaren is so balanced in performance versus that Audi of Matt Artem when they come through that bus stop chicane, as well as LaRock trying to hold off everything with Andre Lloyd. Let's take a look on the back end. You can see that Porsche just reel him in the brakes, and then upon acceleration, that Porsche gets him right out of the hole there. But the Honda manages in that mid part of the performance to separate themselves just a little bit here and manages to pull away as well. So huge shout out to LaRock trying to keep his composure to separate himself as we watch the drivers come through in the Sector 3. And they go through Shuffler now, probably serving everything into the pits as much as he possibly can. So we see Kevin Yu doing really good as we see, let's take a look here, Zach Hendricks on the back end. He's got Carter Bennett. Carter Bennett now being attacked by Joshua Piast. Here, Joshua Piast chasing down Carter Bennett in that Aston Martin as they work their way through down the grid. The top three has separated themselves here as we see Casey Bennett getting past Alex Arduin. Alex Arduin is probably feeling it there in that V12 Aston with that V12 trying to keep up with everybody, but you can see him just chase down that Ferrari here in this race. Going a little bit squirrely there on the back end. Let's see how close that BMW catches up to him. That wing is super massive. You can't barely see that BMW. As we watch here, Wilson Fernandez on the back end of Alex Arduin trying to make it stick as we see Carter Bennett losing it in the final chicane. Ooh, what a shame there. Looks like LaRock is also back there in that final chicane. Looks like Shuffler serves his pit. He is rolling out as well. Seems like Munoz has not been able to separate himself from Farmer that far, which is a good sign for them as well. Let's jump down in the following order. Let's take a look. Where is Matt Artem? Artem right here. Ricky Scott. He's going to be battling with Kevin Yu. Kevin Yu now taking the fight to Ricky Scott as they work their way up the grid. See, take a look here. Let's take a look as we see, okay, Kevin Yu working his way down the hill with Ricky Scott. Ricky Scott's trying to hold off. He was on the back end of Matt Artem, but he manages to have to back off based on the pace and the attack of everybody. And we're going to jump down board. The two best friends, Alan Zhu and Tim Wilkins, battling it out in both the GTMR oranges here. See what Alan Zhu can do to Tim Wilkins in that Porsche. Too much of a little bit of a separation between them as they work their way through here. You see James Parks. Ooh, Alan Zhu looking like he's going a little on the slow side through that bus stop chicane here. And Tim Wilkins just in his little groove right now, being as the pit window is open. Question is, who is going to undercut, who is not going to undercut here in this race? As we see Wilson Fernandez still now on the back end of Alex Arduin in that V12 Aston. That BMW with that eco-style boost turboed engine here coming out. Ooh, Louis Bernard getting a little super wide. Matt Artem managing to catch Andre Lloyd. Ooh, Wilson Fernandez. Let's take a look. Ooh, looks like the 776. Looks like, ooh, Aiden Hasselrock. Looked like there was an issue with Aiden's car there as he pulled off on the track. It's interesting there, to say the least. Looks like Aiden had a little bit of an issue there in the race. Curious on what happened there with Aiden Hasselrock. See, he's left the session, probably a issue with his gear, but we'll definitely have to see as we see LaRock dives into the pits there to serve his damage. 414 of the Matt Artem trying everything he can do to hold off Ricky Scott with everybody behind him as well. Let's take a look. Farmer now 1.8 from Munoz, trying to separate as much as possible there. Kevin Yu on the outside looking in. And now we have James Parks on the back end of Alan Zhu here. James Parks going to try to make an attack on Alan Zhu as we see Tim Wilkins right there. James Parks rocking that tealish colored, or is that turquoise? Or is it Tiffany's? Or is it too bright for Tiffany's? I don't know. Let's take a look and see James Parks. He's going to have Tim Wilkins. Wilkins with a lot of front hit damage. Ooh, it's going to be an interesting one to say the least. Ooh, oh, James Parks loses it. Oh, that was a butt-clinching moment right there for you ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what was. We're going to jump aboard Louis Benara. Louis Benara now on Wilson Fernandez, going down into turn one. He's on the back end of Wilson Fernandez. So as you can see, it's kind of the battle between him and Alex Arduin now separated. That's going to allow Louis Benara to dig in and catch up to him. Shuffler still trying to get the points. We pay for the top 22. There's 19 drivers, so points are beneficial for everybody here in this race. So we see Louis Benara. These guys are both going side by side through it here as well. The question is, can Louis Benara hold it in all the way with Wilson Fernandez in front of him? Liam McNeil dives in the pits. We have a lot of early pit stop people. Tweet says in the chat, cyan for James Parks' paint scheme. I don't know if it's cyan, man. I work in the printing industry. That's way too greenish. That's why I was going with that turquoise. Going with that turquoise because there's Louis Benara separate. He's about a second off of Wilson Fernandez. Artem 8/10 off of Andre Lloyd. Let's take a closer look. Ooh, we got a closer battle. Carter Bennett. So there we have James Parks. So let's take a look at this car. I don't know if it's got to be turquoise. Tweets. It's got to be turquoise. It's got to. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Is it turquoise? Is it like a flat Tiffany color? You know what I mean? Like a dulled out Tiffany color? It's like the off-brand. It's like the black market Tiffany. It's like the shit that you show up to your wife, but you know it's like the Walmart version of the Tiffany and Company color. It's gotta be turquoise-ish or Tiffany or whatnot. It's gotta be. Here we have Carter Bennett on the back end. Can't believe I'm more fixated on that. Carter Bennett in that Red Bull Aston Martin. Definitely getting a little squirrely, chasing down James Parks. James sticking to his line. Carter's going to have to figure it out as he goes through. Going super, ooh, taps the wall there. A lot of these drivers pushing it to the limit right there and just tapping the boards here. Question is can Carter Bennett make it stick here and get past James Parks for that P15? Farmer still on the back end of Munoz, still not giving up, still not letting up here as they are about to catch Liam McNeil here in that P17 spot. It looks like they're coming up to the second to last corner. Tweep says, you might be right. I don't know. Oh, no! Carter Bennett, with the crash, and I'm guessing that's going to probably be it for him in this race. That is a shame. That is a shame right there. Wish to see him continue in that battle, in that race. As we start to see Andre Lloyd, he is now, looks like he leapfrogged Louis Bernard. Louis Bernard must have had an issue here. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. It's Andre Lloyd now separating himself from Louis Bernard here in this battle. As Louis Bernard is definitely trying everything he possibly can to separate himself in this race. It's still a very warm race. It's 25 degrees Celsius here, so take a look here. Kevin Yu still on the back end of Ricky Scott. He is not giving up as Louis Bernard. You see a lot of that front end damage. They're on that BMW. Gets a little squirrely. See him get a little squirrely out of that corner. Take a look here. We got Wilson Fernandez. He's catching up to Alex R. Doing with 42 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen, as they work their way through here. It's the second to last corner here. Kevin Yu 2/10 back. Let's jump down with Kevin Yu here very shortly to see where this is going to be sitting. Still just that close separation between the two drivers. See how much gain Wilson Fernandez gets on Alex Arduin. Doesn't seem like he's gaining a whole lot on that back straight. We watch these two drivers. Ooh, Wilson Fernandez gets a beautiful run on the outside. Alex covers it. Wilson Fernandez trying to make something stick. Ooh, Wilson Fernandez takes a look on the inside. Alex goes wide. Here they come up to the hairpin. Alex is going to give him just a little bit of space to make it work. If Wilson Fernandez can hold it through, he will have the better line coming up into the hairpin, and it looks like he does as he sends it down onto the inside. Super late at the braking. Alex Arduin holding it with that V12 Aston. Ooh, here they go, nose to tail. This is a battle for P4 as Wilson Fernandez covers the inside. He knows Alex Arduin is going to try something to make it stick as Alex Arduin gets a beautiful run. The nice thing with that V12 Aston is if you can get it to roll through the corners the way you want it to, and because of the fact that it does not have a lot of torque in it, most of all of its power is in the higher RPM, you can actually roll out of corners a lot better than a lot of these newer cars and have to worry about the back end spitting up on you. Ooh, as we see both of these drivers going super wide right there. Question is, can Alex hold the pace through the uphill chicane here? But Wilson Fernandez has already gapped him about a whole entire second. Farmer's caught up to Munoz here. So the question is Farmer holding out a little bit on pace here for the 1-2? Or is Munoz just backing off a little bit to try to conserve fuel? We have 39 minutes left to play, 29 minutes left in the pit window to open. So this is going to be an awesome one to see, at least for how these drivers are doing. Still within a second. So Farmer's been able to keep Munoz kind of in check here in this whole entire race. So Munoz knows he's got it locked out. As long as Munoz finishes, as long as Munoz doesn't crash out and Farmer wins, Munoz is set in this championship battle. Because there's only 13-point separation between these two drivers. And Farmer's going to try everything he possibly can to catch Munoz. Crashing him out is not going to work, because that's just going to be a massive penalty coming from me. But Munoz is still going to have 13 more points than Farmer here in this race. Wow, they are just really running it out as much as possible here. Definitely keep an eye on that as the battle develops here. Let's take a long look down here at Louis Benara. Louis with Artem in the background, still with Andre Lloyd in the front as they work their way through here. Big drivers, like I said, the ones to look out for, the movers here. You know, Tim Wilkins dives into the pits. Kevin Yu still on the background of Ricky Scott, trying on the outside to look in. Louis Benara catches the brakes, tries to keep up with Andre Lloyd through this downhill hairpin here. Farmer managing to get close to Munoz here in this battle. Now he's nose to tail. Munoz pushing him further down the grid. Farmer going to switch back. Oh, is Farmer holding something out on Munoz? Munoz just giving him enough space to make it stick here. So far in the chat, how is the race for everybody? It is becoming, we've had a few stall moments where it's kind of dead, but then things are picking up and getting spicy with 36 minutes left to play. Ooh, Farmer looking to have super late on the brakes. Munoz taps it, Farmer catches it about 2/10 later. Munoz still, everybody using as wide as much of the track as they possibly can. Ooh. Down the hill they go. Artem is in the pit, so he's going to be one of the first front runners to dive into the pits for his rotation here, so that's going to be an interesting one to say the least. So we're going to jump back down. Louis Benara on the back end of Andre Lloyd. Louis Benara loses the back end of it, so it's going to allow Hendricks. His car is just not where it needs to be. Ooh, what a shame there for Louis Benara. As we follow again with the front runners here in this race. I mean, these guys are pushing the track limits here. Question is, will someone get a drive-through? That's a good question. I'm not sure if people are going to get a drive-through. But if they do, interesting, to say the least. Interesting. But let's take a look here. Farmer is battling it out. This is going to be the closest battle in the race so far here as drivers dive into the pits. So 14 through 18 all have pitted. Farmer's getting a little loose there. He's going wide on the NSX. He needs to recover. Down on the brakes with the NSX here. He's managed to separate himself. Number 12. Ooh, Louis Benara. Looks like he lost it a little bit out of turns 1 and 2. Let's jump down there real quick and see what happened here. He is pulled off on the track. What a shame there. He's probably having a little bit of technical issues and he is out for the race. What a shame there. So we see Farmer still trying everything he possibly can to recatch Munoz here in this championship battle here. As we see Artem in that P13 spot. James Parks looking super racy up in that P12. He's moving up the grid as well. Who's going to be diving into the pits? Looks like we have Farmer into the pits. So Farmer dives into the pits, and he's going to be serving his pits, and that's going to allow Munoz on his flyer here. So the question is how much was Munoz sandbagging his lap times to where he just punches it and just says, all right, let's go. Because right now he's up a 10th on his time. He could be messing with Farmer here as he comes out of that first chicane. Because his best lap right now, the fastest lap, is a 44.845. We see Farmer in the pits. Kevin Yu dives into the pits. Now the question is, if Munoz dives into the pits, then that's going to set it up to where let's take a look. Do we have any closer battles? No, we're kind of going to have to wait for the pit rotation to kick in. Farmer is out of the pits. He's moving along. Let's see. Farmer came out right around. He is behind LaRock, but ahead. Shuffler jumped back into the pits. So we see now Munoz dives into the pits. As those two drop out. What a shame there by those two. So we see, let's take a look now. Where is Farmer in this? So Farmer's coming around the corner. He's okay. He's on the second sector, coming up to the hairpin as he comes around, working his way up the hill. Munoz is in the pits. Can Farmer leapfrog him? That is the big question. Ooh, Farmer going super wide. He is really pushing it. The 124 is moving. Ooh, this is going to be tight. Munoz comes out of the pits. Oh, is Farmer going to get him? Farmer goes super wide. Oh, wow. He was pushing, but Farmer's got the hotter tires. Can Farmer keep it going here in this race? Farmer knows he's going to have to make something work here to leapfrog Munoz, and Munoz is going to have to get a penalty or something, or a drive-through to push him further down the grid to help Farmer in this overall championship point standing here to even win the championship. Because right now, Munoz is just driving excellent. Fast enough just to keep Farmer separated, but just enough to where he can't make a move through the hairpin. You can see Farmer taking a look on the inside and then having to back out of it. super heavy on the brakes. You can see Farmer's car, front end of it getting washed right there as we watch everybody come around here through the second to last corner. Can Farmer catch him? I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. This is the closest battle on track that we have right now so far. So Farmer's getting a beautiful run out of turn one. The Honda getting a beautiful run on the Audi. So we take a look on the onboard. Side by side. Here's the helicopter shot. Munoz giving him just enough space. Side by side, here they go. Farmer sends it up on the inside. He makes it, sticking around Munoz. He goes. Now the question is, Munoz, was he holding off? He knows the championship is locked up. That Munoz would have to crash out or get a massive drive-through. I think he'd have to finish somewhere down in the P10 area in this race. The question is Munoz going to start pushing it even harder and put Farmer in a bit of a bind here as Wilson Fernandez is in the pits. We have 27 minutes to go, 27 minutes to go in the race, 17 in the pit rotation here. Fernandez in the pits, Arduin in the pits, Lloyd in the pits, Ricky Scott's in the pits. So now we're seeing a lot of big people going into the pits now. Now they've had a massive separation to P3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Joshua Piask in the pits. Hendrick stays out. Ricky Scott dives into the pits. Andre Lloyd dives. Yep. Now Munoz is going to have the run. Farmer switchbacks. Munoz gets a beautiful turn and burn. Oh, they're going to catch a car up to the chicane. Have both on the brakes. Munoz sends it up on the inside. Farmer goes wide. Now Munoz has to cover out of it. Ooh, beautiful run by these drivers. Sprightly in the chat. How's it going, Sprightly? Welcome, 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 Sprightly. As we see Jaden Munoz on the back end of Farmer here. Can Munoz make it stick? He's going to probably lock up the championship so far out at the end of this. He's going to have the 603. Well, that's going to be Tim Wilkins here. Alan Zeus dives into the pits. So Farmer's going to have to try to be very strategic about how he wants to get past Tim Wilkins here in this race. As we see a yellow, it's cleared. So they're going to catch Tim Wilkins onto the front straight. So Tim probably going to slide out of their way real quick here. Let them through. Down into turn one. Here goes Farmer and Munoz. Munoz maybe setting it up for him to work. Farmer now on the back end of Tim Wilkins. They work their way up the hill here. Tim Wilkins going to allow Farmer through. Here comes Munoz. Munoz is going to use him as a bait setup. Oh, here comes it. Oh, here comes the slingshot engaged. Munoz now getting a run on Farmer a lot faster than what he thought he was going to be. You can see Munoz catching the brakes before he almost rear-ended. Phantom Motorsports in the chat says, so where do I drop money to give Jaden a ballast or BOP? It's called You Need to Practice More, Phantom. As we see Jaden Munoz, I'm just kidding. No, we don't do that here. I can't, I refuse to limit someone. I did stick Arduin in a V12 Aston though. Spriley says, goody goody on my lunch break. Awesome, awesome. Happy to have you here watching with us as we see a battle out of Farmer and Munoz nose to tail as they are taking it to each other here. Question is, where is Munoz going to make the move on to Farmer? Because Munoz just gets a massive toe down the back straight if someone is in front of them, and the only other driver in front of them is Liam McNeil. Question is Tyler going to sit there in the general in voice chat and go, hey, Liam, I need a multi-21. Ooh, Farmer goes wide. Now Munoz is going to get a better run on the inside. Farmer's going to try to squeeze the door down on Munoz. Side by side they go, heavy into the brakes. Munoz closes it, makes it stick into turn one, but is Farmer going to, oh no! Liam loses it. He tries to, there's nothing on Liam because of that. Liam just did what he had to do, hold the brakes, hope that everybody makes it through. What a shame there by Liam, by all of that just happened. That was a horrible. We're gonna be following along Casey Bennett. He's got 23 minutes left to go. He's gonna be diving into the pits. Farmer still holding it in there. Liam pulling off. So we see Casey Bennett. He's going to need to be diving into the pits as a 603 of Mr. Tim Wilkins, as we see Wilson Fernandez. As Casey Bennett dives into the pits, Jaden Munoz is going to get a we'll see. He's coming around the final chicane here. So we'll see if that catches them. Take a look. How much damage does Farmer's car have? Oh, Jesus. That is a lot of damage on Farmer's car there. That is a lot of damage. That looks like a Honda Acura, a new age Honda Acura. So we see Alex Arduin going past Farmer there into that hairpin. Oh, what a shame there in that race. To see, let's take a look. Liam McNeil, how much damage does he have on? He barely has any. Ooh, Liam McNeil's connection is very. Let's take a look. Let's keep an eye on this and see. A lot of damage. He's going to allow Wilson Fernandez through. Casey Bennett is out. That's going to allow Jaden Munoz into the lead. So now that's going to be Casey Bennett P1, Jaden Munoz P1, I apologize. Casey Bennett P2, Wilson Fernandez P3, Alex Arduin P4, followed by Andre Lloyd P5. Farmer going to try to hopefully fix that damage and work his way back up the grid. Ricky Scott up into P6. We started with 21, now we're down to 14 based on the damages with 20 minutes left to go. What a shame there with this race here, as we see Mr. Hendricks here coming down the pits. Right now we don't have any closer battles, but Mr. Hendricks here up to P9 so far through this mini enduro event of damages as we go through. Let's take a look here. Ooh, Jaden Munoz, is it me, or does it look like he has rear end damage, ladies and gentlemen? He has damage. Oh, the question is, what happened to his car? Oh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be doing a little investigation here. So let's take a look, everybody. So we're going to, his car. Oh, he is all over the place there in that Audi. He's going to be trying to hold that in together, and that's going to allow Casey Bennett through. So something doesn't seem right here, ladies and gentlemen. Something just doesn't, because Farmer is in the pits. Farmer's going to be fixing his stuff. So let's take a look. Here's Farmer. Farmer's busy getting repaired. Jaden Munoz is coming down. Now Casey Bennett's up to P1. So let's take a look. Now, let's see. I got to look up the championship points here, everybody, and take a look and see where the points are for for 13 place points. Because right now, Casey Bennett with Wilson Fernandez back behind him. So let's see, scoring here in this. So Farmer would need to finish 13 points. He would need to finish P4 to get 13 points. He'd need to finish P4 or higher to win the championship based on points. Ooh, this is definitely... I don't think Farmer's going to be able to make it, but Farmer, he left. He actually left the race. No, there he is. P14. All the way in the back there. P14. All the damage is fixed. Now Farmer has to push, practically push like, ooh, he is really far out all over the track. There. So Farmer's going to have to figure something out here in this race to make up some time here. As we see Tim Wilkins and Liam McNeil here battling it out as Tim is trying to chase. Ooh, Liam does have that front end damage that we were talking about here as Tim Wilkins on the outside looking in on him as well here. And it is getting spicy here towards the end of this race. So this could help out Tim Wilkins with Alex Arduin flying down with that V12 Aston with Liam McNeil there. Ooh, nice run by Tim Wilkins, holding it together with Alex Arduin and Liam McNeil. Tim Wilkins trying to reel him in, that driver of Liam McNeil. Casey Bennett doing a beautiful run there in that P1 spot. Wilson Fernandez 1.4 back from them as well as they work through with 16 minutes left to play. Both drivers front end damage. Both drivers trying to make something happen here in this. Ooh, a little bit squirrely. Let's take a look at what we have here so far. Right now, your new standings on drivers is you have Casey Bennett P1, Wilson Fernandez P2, Alex Arduin P3. We got Andre Lloyd there in that P4 spot. Ricky Scott P5, Matt Artem P6, Zach Hendricks P7, Kevin UP8. Then we got Jaden Munoz P9. Had a lot of that damage, managed to get it fixed and repaired, so he is back up and on it right now. Alan Zhu P10. Then we've got LaRock P11, followed by Tim Wilkins P12. We missed it. I apologize. Let's take a look and see where he made the move. Take a look in this replay. We see Tim Wilkins on the back half of Liam McNeil as they work their way up the hill. Down on the outside, he's going to try. He gets a beautiful run on Liam. Liam tries to squeeze him down, but it's not going to stick. Heavy on the brake. Oh, Tim pulls it off, catches him with the braking. Oh, beautiful move by Tim Wilkins through the bus stop in the GTMR McLaren as they work their way through on the downhill. Beautiful run there as well. Liam McNeil trying to hold it all together while he chases down. As we see Alan Zhu now catching up to the back head. No, is that not Alan Zhu? No, I think that's... I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to keep up. Andre Lloyd on the back end of Liam McNeil trying to chase them down here as well. the Marvel Porsche here on the back end. Liam's going to pull off, knows it's a blue flag. Hopefully they can work it out. Casey Bennett now separating himself from Wilson Fernandez to 2.5 seconds here in this race. Ricky Scott, 1.166 seconds off the pace of Matt Artem. He's jumped out here. Ricky Scott trying to catch that blue Audi. That blue Audi has been sitting there very patiently, waiting, trying to put in the times that he needs with 13 minutes left to go. Take a look at everybody. Let's see. Let's jump along the grid. Right now, everybody is so spaced out. It's a little hard to figure out where everybody is at so far. So here we have your leader right now, Casey Bennett, the '1 car, the 918 Porsche, the 918 Ferrari. I apologize, because next season he will be going to that the 992 Porsche. He's already massively told me. Let's take a look. In the standings right now we have let's take a look. Where is Casey in the standings? Casey Bennett sitting P11. Those 25 points that he's got right now, that will leapfrog him to 68 overall in the championship standings. So that would put him up into that top 5, right ahead of Byrne. So that's going to be a big leapfrog for Casey Bennett right there as well. Wilson Fernandez, he's going to be coming home with a solid points that P2 offers. That's going to bring him, going to leapfrog him. Oh, no, wait. Wrong season I'm looking at. I apologize. Doing horrible at my job. Let's take a look here. Standing so far. Okay, Wilson Fernandez, that will reel him a little bit closer to Farmer, separating himself from Andrew Jaschke, who did not make it in this race. As we see, let's take a look. Casey Bennett. Okay, the 25 points from Casey Bennett will leapfrog. He'll put him into P4 in the overall standings here. And then Andre Lloyd's finish will leapfrog between him and LaRock. That's going to be a strong finish for him to move up further. So as long as Farmer doesn't somehow magically figure out a way to finish P4 in this race or higher, it looks to be that Jaden Munoz is your championship leader and your championship winner in the overall championship. The Manufacturers Cup, though, it is down between the Audi and the Aston Martin, but right now it's looking like the Audis are going to be sitting there pretty strong in the overall championship for the manufacturers as well. So it's going to be Audi, Aston, Honda, Ferrari, BMW, Porsche, McLaren, Lambo in the overall standings as well. And in the general chat, we have Carmen88 Fernandez. I am not good with Spanish, but Murillo for Motios. All I know is it says keep going, Wilson Fernandez, and kick ass. That's pretty much is what I'm kind of coming down to on the description by Carmen Fernandez. Wilson Fernandez, what a wonderful driver here in the league. Huge shout out to him as well. As we see Matt Artem, Ricky Scott catching up Liam McNeil here on the downhill hairpin. Liam leaving just enough space. Ricky now on this battle with the Audi driver of Liam catches the wall a little bit. Ricky Scott looking super racy here in that P6 as he's now caught up to the P5 of Matt Artem. That blue Audi that we were talking about that he will need to catch here to beat. So right now, so far we have 8 minutes left to go. This is your closest battle, the P5 spot. Matt Artem and Ricky Scott dueling it out nose to tail out of the 14 drivers we have so far to finish out this season, the rerun of Watkins Glen. As we see Liam McNeil off the track again in turn 1, that 325. It's lit up in turn 1. Matt Artem's managing to separate himself from Ricky Scott. Ricky Scott does not have a call for it in this race. The Knox Racing McLaren's going to have to dig deep as best that he possibly can to make it work. Question is, can Wilson Fernandez catch Casey Bennett here for the overall win in this championship? The last lap, Casey Bennett was 2/10 faster than Wilson Fernandez. Wilson Fernandez now resets his lap to now he's only a 10th off of Casey Bennett here. So he is on the outside looking in that BMW, trying everything he possibly can make work up this hill. This is a long time coming. Casey Bennett is definitely, with 6 minutes left, pushing that Red Bull Ferrari as much as he possibly can. He wants to bring home the dub for the Bennett family. Definitely wants to get a win and GTMR here as he comes up to the hairpin. Take a look. Ricky Scott still reeling in. Ooh, they've caught the McLaren of Tim Wilkins. Wilkins going to hold the inside. Artem on the outside. Ricky Scott's going to need to use this to his advantage as they come up to the bus stop. Ricky Scott trying to shove his way through the field as they come through the bus stop. I know you want to catch the driver in front, but you got to be a little bit patient as you come through the bus stop. As we see Casey Bennett now separating himself from Wilson Fernandez to 3 seconds with 5 minutes and 48 seconds left to play. The temperature of the track is gone up by 2 degrees Celsius, and it is probably throwing everybody off here in this race. So far, this is your closest battle, ladies and gentlemen. It's Ricky Scott and Matt Artem. Artem going wide, Ricky Scott going wide as they work their way up the hill here at Watkins Glen. As AR Wolf says, no, I am late. It's okay, buddy. By the way, Wolf, we do have signups coming in for next season. They have dropped, Wolf. What did I miss? You missed a lot, Wolf. Both Munoz and Farmer battling it out heavily. Then a massive crash, which caused Munoz and Farmer to fall back down the grid. And now it's put Casey Bennett up into P1. Massive amounts of battles. Louis Bonara and the BMW not staying locked in for this race here. It's just been developing and growing like crazy. Casey Bennett now leading, followed by Wilson Fernandez. Alex Ardoin is in the V12 Aston. And now we have Ricky Scott trying to chase down Matt Artem here for this P5 spot for these good amount of points here in this race. We see now Ricky Scott bringing into 3/10. We have 3 minutes left to play. Anything is possible here now. As we see Farmer, looks like he had a little bit of issue with his car, but he's through now. Looks like a little bit of a yellow. On track, looks like Farmer trying to regain everything. Heavy on the brake, Ricky Scott trying to reel in Artem as much as possible. Take a look here. Can Ricky Scott make it stick? There's 2 minutes left to go. And your race leader just crossed the line. He's going to have Jaden Munoz right in behind him as they just leapfrogged him in this race. I wish I could have joined the race, but my manager told me to come in early. Oh, what a shame there, Wolf. But it's okay. Hey, man, we were racing Thursdays also, Thursday night. So if you're able to get in, that'll be awesome. We'll be doing Porsche Cup and GT3. Oh, Ricky Scott on the back end. Carbonero says, how is my dad leading? What the fuck? You see, this is what happens when you stop racing, Carter, your dad becomes even greater in the race. No. Ooh, Ricky Scott takes a look on the inside. Artem covers. Ricky Scott now switched back on the outside down into turn one. Here they go. Nose to tail. Ricky Scott's going to get a beautiful run on Artem. Can he hold it through down on the inside? Artem leaves the door open just a little bit as they work their way up the hill. Side by side, Artem catches the curb. Ricky Scott having to go side. Oh, Ricky Scott's going to get a beautiful run coming up to the bus stop chicane. He's going to have to move over. He cuts over, covers up on the inside, heavy into the braking. Artem catches the brakes first. Ooh, Ricky Scott gets it. Katie Hold it coming out of the bus stop. Ooh, Artem goes super wide. Oh, Artem loses it there. Oh, but can Artem reel him back in with 43 seconds left to play? As we see, we have 38 seconds left. The leader, Casey Bennett, is going to be crossing the line. And keep going. Deleted Fox in the chat. Go, LaRock. LaRock up into that P11 spot. This is going to be your final lap by the drivers here. But will these guys get caught out here? Because it looks like they're on the tail end about to cross the line here. And it looks like, looks like Ricky Scott's going to snag that P5 with Matt Artem here. And right now we're going to jump along board with your leader of the race, Casey Bennett. He's finishing his final lap here at Watkins Glen for the Season 6 at GT Meister Racing. As long as he can hold it together this whole the finish of it, he will lock out Watkins Glen here. It was definitely an interesting race. 21 drivers showed up. 14 are going to be finishing with a lot of issues with drivers. There was some crashing. There was some issues here, but you know what? You persevere and you push as much as you possibly can. So that is the thing. Casey Bennett, head down, focus, kept pushing himself all the way through. as we see Farmer sitting off on the side of the track there. Curious if he is having any form of issues here in this race. Let's jump down and take a look. He is not. Looks like he is waiting for the leaders to come around here. As we see Casey Bennett coming through here up to the second of the final corner. Here he goes through the Red Bull Ferrari around the bend. He only has a little bit more to go. Down into turn one on the throttle. There is Farmer in that P14 spot. Jaden Munoz right behind Casey Bennett. Jaden Munoz locks out the championship. Casey Bennett wins at Watkins Glen. Wilson Fernandez P2. Alex R doing in the V12 Aston. And then we also have Jaden Munoz. He's finished. Farmer's finished. As we see the V12 Aston of Alex R doing coming around the second to last bend. Here he goes through the final corner. Alex Arduin is going to bring it home in P3 as we have Andre Lloyd. He's going to be coming home in P4. Where is the Lloyd? Lloyd coming through. He's going to have what seems to be LaRock right in front of him. LaRock's going to bring it home in P11. Alan Zhu brings it home in P10 at GTMR. Andre Lloyd P4. Ricky Scott coming out of the final corner. He's going to be bringing it home P5 with Matt Artem P6, as well as Hendricks bringing it home P7, Kevin Yu, and then we've got Tim Wilkins. He's going to be bringing it home to P12. Here comes Kevin Yu through the final two corners, and around the bends they go. Here they come. Kevin Yu on the front straight. Liam McNeil is the last one. Kevin Yu crosses the line to bring it home P8. And let's take a look. Liam McNeil in the Honda NSX, the 325. He's going to be happy to get out of this car at the end of the season as he comes across the line here very shortly. He's going to finish P13. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your overall finish of the drivers. It is truly an honor to finish out the final season. Casey, Fernandez, Arduin, Lloyd, Ricky Scott, Artem, Hendricks, Kevin Yu, Munoz, Zhu, LaRock, Wilkins, McNeil, Farmer, your top 14 drivers to finish out. Sadly to see that the other drivers that did not make it here in this session. I'm your host, Exy. It has been truly an honor to have all of you guys a part of this league and to be a part of, even some of you guys that are not in the Discord but that watch in the stream. It is truly an honor to have you guys here with us as well, participating and being one with us here in this championship fight. It is truly an honor. We do have signups now out on SimGrid. Just definitely check us out. If you need to go on to SimGrid, click at the top hosts and then go down. And then type in the search bar, just type in GT, and then it'll populate GT Meister Racing. You can go and select our season. We have season 7. You can join us in our Discord right now. So far for this week, it is a private event to join in and becoming part of the. Once you get into Discord to get privately into the championship, and then after that you can actually join in. After the first week, you can join into the championship and race with us. For those that do not know, next season we will be going into, we will be moving our GT4 series that is on Tuesday. We will be moving it to Thursday, and then on Thursday we will be running Cup cars in GT4, where we will be having a wonderful blast because you're truly. Actually, we'll be racing it, and it's going to be wonderful. So that will be starting up in about 4 weeks or so to allow everybody to sign up and get ready. I just want to give a huge shout out to all the drivers, everybody that participated this season, that powered through and stuck with us. It's been truly an honor as an owner to have all of you guys with us. And again, definitely keep an eye out. We will probably be holding a few fun run races that may be streamed. So we'll definitely be letting you guys see those as well. So I'd give you a huge shout out to all of you guys for participating and being here. And I will talk to you guys later.